I wanted to focus on an engineering feat that nowadays doesn't get enough attention: the creation of city sewers, even more specifically, Chicago's. Every day we drive and walk around the city taking for granted on how clean the streets really are. We take for granted many of our household amenities, being able to clean our clothes, take showers, and so on. We don't realize what it took to get us to this point. Imagine every time you step outside your house, the streets are filled with trash and waste from people and animals. Now bring that to a scale of Chicago. It was becoming an epidemic. In fact, in 1849, there was a cholera outbreak, and the city of Chicago decided they needed to do something about it. So, in 1855, the state of Illinois created a sewerage commission. They came up with creating a comprehensive sewer system, but they had a massive hurdle to contend with. The city is at sea level, and it would be extremely difficult and far too expensive to dig down and install sewers. So, they employed engineer Ellis Chesborough. Chesborough started out his career as a surveyor for railroad companies. Eventually, he became an engineer for Boston and helped develop their water distribution system. When looking at the task at hand, he came up with an alternative. If you can't dig down, then why not build up? Sounds crazy. That's exactly what they did. Using jack screws designed to take trains on and off the tracks, they raised buildings and sometimes even entire city blocks up as high as 10 feet. In one instance, they raised a city block that was about an acre, weighing 35,000 tons, using 6,000 jack screws. Many businesses stayed open throughout the whole process. Some buildings couldn't be raised, so they completely moved them. Even though they were able to solve one problem, it created another. With all the waste going into Lake Michigan, it began to pollute their drinking water. They decided to build a 2-mile tunnel under the lake so they would be able to pump clean water into the city away from the polluted water. This worked for a time. But with the city's population growing so fast, it didn't take long for the sewage water to make it all the way out there. They had to think of something drastic once again. They figured out that they could reverse the flow of the Chicago River and have the wastewater flow into the Mississippi River. To help even more with the removal, both the Illinois and Michigan canals were deepened and widened. Doing all of this sparked a revolution not only in the United States, but the entire world. Over the next few decades, many other cities developed their own sewer systems in cleaning the streets, making major cities healthier to live in. In this business, you may come across what seems to be an insurmountable task. But if you keep all options open and think outside the box, you may just change the world.